Not only...
Oh my god, you blew my mind!
Not only does this game look better than DMC 5 in terms of aesthetics, like, just visually, it looks a lot nicer than fucking Unreal Engine smear bloom, fucking grunge,
colors,
shitty. God, it just looks bad.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable to look at. It's like Magic Eye.
But this game, even when it came out in 2008 on the Xbox 360, ran at a smooth, solid 60 frames per second. Never dipped. Whereas fucking DMC Devil May Cry ran at 30 frames per second when it first came out, and they had to, like, defend that. And they were like, it has the feel of 60 frames per second. Like, instead of talking about, like, stuff that we learned in Devil May Cry 5 retroactively about this game, we should just talk about DMC Devil May Cry. And what a piece of shit it was. Because that's the other thing, is this game is Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition. So, after this game came out, and to be fair, I get where they're coming from, because this game came out and it sold the most out of any game in the Devil May Cry series. Capcom was like, well, it didn't sell as much as we wanted it to. It met our sales expectations, but we expected more. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, Capcom? But I get it, because, number one, this is the first DMC game on an Xbox, on a non-Sony game. So maybe they were expecting, like, okay, it's coming out on twice as many consoles as the old games did.
Twice as many sales.
So it should sell, like, twice as much. And it's like, I get that mentality, but you're also fucking retarded. But the last
game sold, like, 14 million, and, you know.
Yeah, you're not gonna get that.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, you're dumb. But also, I'll talk about it later, but this also is a game where it's like, okay, you didn't let them actually make this game.
Yeah.
So it came out, and they were like, okay, well, that was disappointing, even though it met our expectations. You fucking stupid assholes. So then Keiji Inafune was like, hey guys, you know what we gotta do to make sure Devil May Cry really sells? We gotta get some Western developers to make Devil May Cry. Let's have those Western developers make a new Bionic Commando game. Let's have those Western developers make a new IP. And let's have these Western developers make a new Devil May Cry game. And make it be super Western. Make it be a fucking cowboy movie with how Western it's gonna be. So that's why Ninja Theory was allowed to make a Devil May Cry game, because Keiji Inafune. Just retroactively, it's so nice that Mighty No. 9 like ruined his career.
Yeah.
Because now we can retroactively blame Keiji Inafune for fucking everything. And that's just always a nice feeling, getting to blame Keiji Inafune. So fucking, like, Ninja Theory made DMC Devil May Cry, and it was a piece of shit. But not only was it a piece of shit, but they basically didn't actually make it.
It wasn't made?
Because they just had Itsuno, the guy who makes Devil May Cry, and they were like, okay, Itsuno, they're fucking it up, go help them make the game. And so that's where all these stories come from, where, like, Itsuno's, like, looking at an enemy that they designed, and he had, like, the enemy had, like, blades coming out of his elbows and shit. And Itsuno was like, oh, that's a really cool looking design, how's the enemy gonna attack Dante with those? And they were like, oh, he's not. They're just there to look cool. And he's like, oh, well then get rid of them. Like, what the fuck is the matter with you?
Why are they there, then?
Why are you having this enemy have a clear, like, weapon element to his design that he's not going to use?
Yeah.
Like, they didn't know how to make a video game. And he had to teach them, like, no, you're like, the attacks need to feel strong in order to have, like, satisfying, like, feedback to the player. Like, they didn't know how to make a fucking action game. So that's why I'm like, don't give DMC Devil May Cry credit for fucking anything, because everything quote-unquote good that it did, Itsuno just told them to do it. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not DMC Devil May Cry that was good, it's Itsuno who told them to do good things. in DMC Devil May Cry. So a cutscene's coming up that is going to be hard to talk through, so put a pin on that conversation. What is castle? Getting flashbacks to Mundus's castle in DMC 1. Or a Salazar's castle. Even I get lost in there sometimes.
Salazar gets lost for days in there.
Okay, so here's a cutscene.
Hi, I'm Boob.
The most Lady Gaga ass looking character I've ever seen.
Oh. Oh, that could have been bad if you missed time. Yeah.
How did they get away with this?
Now keep in mind this is E for everyone. This is E10 plus. Oops.
Even for me, this is too much. Yeah, sure wish the Blue Rose could do that in actual gameplay. The guns in DMC exist in two different planes of reality.
Hey, Bayonetta.
Thanks.
Yeah, I wonder if that's, like, was the inspiration. It's, like, the character
Ooh.
action genre is, like, so incestuous.
Yeah. It's all kind of like the same game a few times.
Yeah.
Gloria.
Yeah. Hey, what did I just say? Gloria.
You're Nero, right?
The most Japanese
Credo.
designed
Period.
female character I've ever seen.
Gloria.
You, in fact, and none
Look, he's hiding the arm. He's still trying to play it off.
Where are they coming from?
I didn't want to hide. I don't know. I don't want chicks to know
more
that
the
I
number you kill.
only have
more
one
will
arm.
come.
No.
Let me store this in my vagina.
Nero's like, oh shit, I saw her coochie.
Personal slam.
That's our poos. Like, well, no shit. She fucking there. She turned sideways, and you can see it. You broke his ass.
May the Savior be with you on your journey.
Oh god, she's
So
Catholic.
she's like clearly supposed to be a Ganguro girl, which is also the visual design that inspired Jinx in Pokemon. But it's just like, Japan, seriously, you need to fucking stop. You don't get it, you're not gonna get it. This is one of those things where I don't accept cultural difference as an excuse.
You are hurting those around you.
You need to stop.
Stop it.
Get some help. So notice that I talked about Kyrie being the new female character for DMC4, but not Gloria. Anyway.
He was feeling up his tits. He did that, by the way. I feel like that joke didn't play for radio.
This was a room where a Let's Player like started just losing his mind, breaking all the chairs.
It's an achievement! It's gotta be an achievement.
It was really funny.
Pop all the fucking balloons in Dead Space 2.
Nero hates church. Why did you make him have to go to church? I don't want to just do the same joke, but it did make me laugh. Anyway. So, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, DMC Devil May Cry was such a piece of hot garbage that no one wanted. That when it came out, guess what? It bombed. It bombed super hard. You know why? Because the only people who liked it were game journalists, and they don't pay for
They
games.
didn't pay for it.
They get games for free. So it doesn't matter if the journalists like it. You didn't get any money out of that. You're stupid. Anyway. So, also that bleeds into this other great story, which, like, it's a good thing we're doing this after DMC 5 came out, because a news story came out where it's like Ruben Langdon, who is the voice actor for Dante, talked about how after DMC Devil May Cry came out, Itsuno wanted to fucking quit Capcom. Because he was like, that was such a piece of shit. And you fucking assholes. Why, like, oh god, why have you done this to a series that, like, my name is attached to? I'm gonna quit the shit out of... And, like, they're trying to PR it, like, after that story came out and everyone was talking about it, like, the main, like, Capcom guy in the West, you know, like, the Reggie of Capcom, was like, look, guys, but it's like, no, shut up, you're just being a PR shithead. Yeah. We all know what was real, and you're just, like, no, he wasn't gonna quit because of Devil May Cry. Like, you're dumb. Anyway. So, literally, Itsuno, like, ignoring the shitty PR Capcom bullshit, and going with the real narrative, which is what Ruben Langdon said. This, like, DMC Devil May Cry came out, and Itsuno was like, that sucked, I'm gonna quit, thank you, take care, bye-bye. And Capcom was like, no, dude, don't quit, please. Like, you're a very incredibly valued developer here. You're so important to our company, please do not quit. Like, what do you want? Like, we'll write you a blank check. Anything you want to do, you can do it. Just please don't quit. And he was like, I want to do DMC 5. Like, the real game. Like, the real thing that I want to do. And they were like, done. So that's the one good thing that DMC did for us, is... Actually, that's not true. DMC also did something else, which is it got Keiji Inafune to quit.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that is another great, like... there was a conversation that Keiji Inafune had talking about how when he quit Capcom, no one tried to stop him.
Yeah.
So Keiji Inafune quit Capcom, and everyone was like, okay, yeah, don't let the door hit you on the ass on your way out. Itsuno tries to quit Capcom, and they're like, you can do whatever you want, please, just don't quit. You can do whatever you want, please. So there's the difference for you between two developers and how Capcom felt about them. Because under fucking Keiji Inafune, Capcom was in the Dark Ages. And then he left. And now Capcom's recovering. Finally able to recover.
Yeah.
So DMC Devil May Cry bombed so fucking hard that, like, I feel like that's also part of the reason Keiji Inafune quit, but also... it made them go, okay, so that's stupid. Making the games more, like, having, like, that method didn't work.
Yeah.
So then, fast forward 5 years, and you know, Itsuno's probably making DMC 5, but probably still not very far along in the development because there's, like, fucking, Resident Evil 7 hadn't even come out yet, so the RE engine wasn't even really quite established at that point. So what do? They release on here these new next-gen consoles, the PS4. Smokin' 6 style! Shit!
Proof.
On the PS4 and the Xbox 360, they released DMC Devil May Cry, the Definitive Edition. I say in massive finger quotes. The version that fixes all of the problems with the DMC Devil May Cry. And so that came out, and it bombed again! DMC Devil May Cry was such a piece of shit that everyone hated, it bombed twice.
I hope your plane crashes twice. I hope it crashes, kills half you, and they say, fuck it, take off again and crash.
That is exactly what happened! DMC Devil May Cry is a plane that crashed twice and killed everyone involved. And then Ninja Theory made Setsuno Hellblade, or whatever the fuck it's called. Setsuno's Hellblade, a game about depression or some stupid shit. A game, to this day, I have never seen gameplay footage of. I have seen many people talk about that game, I have never seen a single clip of gameplay footage. which obviously means it's a great game.
Yeah.
Every
That's
good,
how you know.
every good game is spoken of ignoring the fact that the gameplay exists.
Spoken of and never played.
Yeah, like goddamn. Shit. So, so DMC Devil May Cry Special Edition, Definitive Edition came out and it bombed. So then they released DMC 4 Special Edition. And we don't know the exact numbers, but Capcom implied that this sold it must have sold at least as well as DMC 4 did when it originally came out. Which is kind of phenomenal when you fucking think about it.
Yeah.
Especially considering how much the industry has changed since DMC 4 came out originally. So they were like, okay, that tells us what we need to know. Like, not only... Okay, so the first time wasn't just a fluke. People really don't like DMC Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
Let's never do that again. And, okay, DMC 4 Special Edition sold pretty dang well. Go ahead and make that their DMC 5, homeboy. So that is what I am grateful towards DMC Devil May Cry 4, is it sucked so bad that it, like, woke Capcom up. Like, they realized, like, holy shit! Oh my god. Like, a version of that also happened to Square Enix, believe it or not, where, Bravely Default sold really well, like, better than fucking, Final Fantasy 13 did. Comparatively, when you take into consideration that Final Fantasy 13 released on the Xbox 360, which is, like, one of the best-selling consoles of all time, aside from the Wii. Which is like a fucking freak success story that shouldn't even... Like, the statistics have been skewed by the Wii's existence. And the PS3. And Bravely Default only came out on the 3DS. So, like, take the percentage of sales, and they're like, holy shit. Okay, we need to stop. That's what DMC Devil May Cry was. It was the wake-up call. Where they were like, okay, wait, holy shit, this guy's ruining our fucking company. We used to be renowned, and now... and now people are calling us Crapcom. So, okay, DMC Devil May Cry failing was the thing that, like, brought them back from the dark side.
Yes, it was the,
the catalyst?
Catalyst, that's the word I was looking for.
that like aroused the redemption arc we're now seeing.
Yes.
Of Mega Man 11, Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 2, Devil May Cry 5. Capcom's finally back.
Yeah.
And
They just needed to get rid of one guy.
They just literally needed to get... It's amazing how one guy can make or break a fucking studio.
For 20...
For fucking so long. And he didn't even do anything.
No. And as you said, or maybe I said this, one of us said this during one of these videos, there's been a lot of videos.
Yes, so much.
He is now the Mighty Number 9 guy.
Yes.
He is not.
He is no longer the Mega Man guy.
Not the Mega Man guy. He's, the Mighty Number 9 guy.
Especially considering Mega Man 11 exists.
Yes. No, he is completely overwritten his previous legacy.
In such a short amount of time.
Yes.
Keiji Inafune took all of the goodwill that he had and squandered it.
Put it in the pea.
Like, I have never seen career sabotage that fucking extreme.
Yes.
He couldn't have fucked it up as hard if he was genuinely like, it's some kind of springtime for Hitler shit.
Yeah.
If you had told me that, like, Keiji Inafune was intentionally trying to sabotage his own career on purpose, I would believe you.
Yeah.
So with Keiji Inafune fucking being gone, Capcom's finally turning their shit around. Yeah. Goddamn, DMC is just so bad. Anyway, the reason I started thinking about DMC Devil May Cry is because there's a picture of Eva in name only, the version of Eva that was in that game. the reason I don't want to say it was Eva is because in that game she's a fucking angel, and it's fucking asinine. Like, that's the reason Dante and Virgil matter in DMC Devil May Cry, is because they're Nephilim, which is, like, a crossbreed between demons and angels. And it's like, you didn't get it so hard. You didn't get it the hardest anyone could ever not get it.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like, that's not fucking Eva. Shut up. Fuck you. Anyway, there's a picture of Dante and Virgil's mom in DMC Devil May Cry where she's wearing red and holding a blue rose. So she's a red queen holding a blue rose. So I was like, okay, that's cute. If intentional.
Yeah.
That's a cute reference to Nero.
It might not be.
It probably isn't. It was probably an accident.
Yep.
It was probably something Itsuno told him to put in. Like, they were putting a picture of Dante and Virgil's mom in there, and the only fucking picture we have of her in existence is her wearing, like, a red shawl. So they just have her wearing red. And Itsuno probably looked at that and went, they have her holding a blue rose. And they were probably like, why? And he was like, just have her holding a blue rose. Because it's actually a really bad way to try and show it. There have been better scenes, but Dante's gun, the blue rose, has a blue rose on it. There you go. That's why it's called that. It's also a fucking revolver that has 2 barrels and it shoots 2 bullets at the same time. Because fuck you. If you look at the bullet, like the bullet pattern on the wall, you can actually see there's 2 hitting at the same time. It's so dumb, I love it. Why would you design a gun like that? So that's why I started thinking about it, because I was like, okay, if on purpose, that's kind of a cute reference to Nero. Because I do like his weapons. And I do like how Kyrie was like, she longs for your touch.
And, other things.
The time has come, and so have I.
Touchy nipples. They only sell this, like, a bunch of copies of the same book.
Didn't figure this guy for a book.
I mean, I guess it's like a library. Sell it, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, see, you can see the blue rose on it.
Oh, Bionicles.
Who does that look like?
That's one way to get yourself shot.
Who does this what does that music remind you of?
So, you after this guy too, or just here to catch some demons?
I thought I wasn't looking very closely. I was looking off to the side, and I thought the subtitle said chicken wings.
Silent type, huh? Well,
You're
that's
trying to find a chicken wing. Cattle prod.
friendly banter.
I don't know. I don't think it's like his move for everyone. Also, notice Nero has 2 rings on his hand, because he's a douchebag.
Who's a DB?
Oh, shit. That was gonna be cool. Oh, it's so good! That's such a good grapple move for those guys. So these guys are called something Angelos. I don't know what their fucking name is, but in the backstory, it's stated that they're made from pieces of Nello Angelo. Like the pieces of Nello Angelo's broken armor, and they infused them with the demon energy from that and made these enemies with it.
Goodness.
And it's like, that's fucking dope as hell. I love normal, and so, because again, this is like the first real Devil May Cry game that takes place after DMC 1. DMC 3 was a prequel. So, the last time we saw Virgil, he was Nello Angelo. Nello Angelo.
Angelo.
Which is, again, it's really funny that this guy's that they named this character Nero.
The order's armor.
They knew what they were doing.
That's not a good sign.
So it's like there's no turning it back anymore. He's just Nello Angelo. There's no salvaging that. There's no like, okay, we can fix it and call him Nero Angelo.
No, it's
like
not
no,
gonna
he's
happen.
Nello Angelo.
No.
Fuck you. It's done. It's over. You lose. You have a character named Nero. Which I think is actually kind of interesting, considering Dante and Virgil's naming convention. Before I get into that. So the last time we saw Virgil canonically, he was Nello Angelo, and he had blown up. Remember when he blew up? Remember when he blew up twice in that game? There was the first boss fight where he, like, beat Dante and then ran away, and blew up and turned into lightning and went back to his home planet. And then there was the second fight, where he blows up and goes away, and there's the third fight where he takes the helmet off and oh no, it's Virgil. And then he blows up and goes away. He blew up 3 fucking times in that game. I don't know why anyone thought, like, oh, this time he's really dead.
He's
Like,
really gone.
fuck you. But no, for real. So Virgil's dead, and then we're playing this game where there's enemies running around made from the broken corpse of Virgil's body. Blah, blah, blah. Mission started. Use your newly earned power to gather the 4 gyro blades. So we're still in that, like, realm of, oh yeah, these are Resident Evil games.
Yeah.
Less in this than it had ever been before. Because in Devil May Cry 3, you were still running around the Terra Magoo. And you could be like, okay, so this is this game's Spencer Mansion. But in this game, it's kind of just a straight line. It's very, very linear. This is like this and then an area later on. Or like the only areas where you run around and solve puzzles. Because you just go back through the mansion with this new ability to manipulate the environment. And that's kind of it.
That's it.
Also, this mansion place, this castle, it's implied, because we're kind of talking over it, but the church... The church in this game worships Sparta. Like, Sparta is their deity, Christ figure. Which, again, is weird considering Sparta fucking existed. Again, it's so weird that they try to have this narrative of, like, Sparta was this mythical figure, and he's spoken of in legend. And it's like, okay, fair enough, he showed up 2,000 years ago and kicked Mundus' ass, but he stuck around. Like, he was still active. He had 2 kids, for fuck's sake. He disappeared, like, at this point, it must be, like, 30 years ago. I don't know how old Dante's supposed to be. Fuck.
Dad age. At this point, is definitely dad age.
Yes. So, and then, like, it's heavily implied that this castle, Sparta used to live here. Like, if you run around and, like, look at the environment, there's environmental clues where it's like, this is just a place where... Just like how in DMC1, there were all these, like, environmental things you could interact with, where it's like the Castellian who lived here. Like, these are papers that he sent to neighboring countries and shit like that. Whereas if you look at the environmental, like, things you can interact with in here, it's like, oh, Sparta lived here. This was, like, his house. Like,
This is his unfinished fresco.
yeah, I don't know when he lived here. I mean, he did a lot of shit in 2,000 years, apparently. But at some point, Sparta was here. Which is, I guess, if you're gonna have a weird religious cult spring up and worship you, I guess it would spring up in the place that you used to live. Where, like, there is the most physical evidence of your existence that there has ever been.